Okay, this is our second last theory chapter, module 2.3, ECommunications. We're going to be covering different uses of ECommunications or digital communications, including email, social media, social networking sites, blogs, vlogs, RSS feeds, podcasts, wikis, GPS technologies. I will say that I attended a government meeting at the beginning of the year and they said that RSS feeds are no longer going to be examined, but I'd rather cover them just in case they are in your final exam. And GPS technologies. We'll also look at using the web efficiently and new trends and technologies. So, what is e-communications? Electronic communications, e-communications, refer to the use of technologies to transfer digital data using computers, smartphones, tablets, and networks like the internet. There are some advantages of e-communication. It's very easy to use. You're able to connect and communicate with many people easily and efficiently. They can be used whenever you are on multiple devices. They are faster than conventional methods. It's much faster to WhatsApp someone than to post a letter through the postal services. And they can save you money. Often this kind of stuff is free. A lot of these services are free. You just have to pay for your internet connection. And if you send letters, if you send images, you often have to post them. And with post, you have to pay for stamps and things like that. So in the long run, they are going to be saving you a lot of money. Next, we have weaknesses or disadvantages. Well, it's dependent on internet coverage. So you need to have a good internet speed, pretty much a fiber connection, ADSL over cellular data. Load shedding can have an effect on whether you're able to have internet coverage. It requires people to be connected digitally. So both parties need access to the internet and a device. They can require expensive equipment. You need a good cell phone, computer, you need internet access. That can be expensive. You can have hardware and software compatibility problems. So somebody is using a Microsoft device or an Android device, somebody else is using an Apple iOS device, and there could be issues. The effective use of digital communications depends on the skill and confidence of the user. What are some good practices to follow when using digital communication? Well, keep time zone or time differences in mind. If you're going to be chatting to somebody who is in Australia or America, that's quite a few different hours apart. And so you want to make sure that when you're arranging to communicate with someone, maybe it's going to be a video call, that you've actually found a time that is good for both parties. Keep differences in bandwidth in mind. So if you are going to be video conferencing, somebody doesn't have a good internet connection, you might want to do things like in Google Meet, you can lower the bandwidth used, or don't turn on the video part and just chat without video. Remember that digital communication is largely impersonal and faceless. Communication can very easily be misinterpreted because maybe you're not seeing someone's face or you don't understand their culture. Sometimes it is better to have things written. Remember that you can't undo something. So don't be reacting on impulse. We see a lot of that with people trolling online, saying horrible comments that maybe they wouldn't say in their real life. Maybe you've said something and people have misinterpreted it and accused you of lots of different things, or you've done that to somebody else. Be careful. The internet's a very public place. Be aware when posting personal details online and respect the online privacy of others. Then we look at some of the different examples of digital communications, and we're starting with email. The two sort of big email sort of programs that you could choose to use. You've got Gmail, which you're using online. You could have Microsoft Office installed on your computer, and therefore your mail is going through Outlook. Gmail is web-based. Email is the composing, sending, and receiving of messages electronically over a network, including the internet. Email software has a calendar, contact lists, task list, and an archiving feature to help you be more organized. So with a calendar, this option will allow you to set reminders about events, birthdays, appointments. You're even able to sync these with your mobile phone, so you'll get a reminder. When making an appointment, people have to reply yes, no, so you're able to see who is going to be attending, who can't make it. You can attach files to your appointments. Tasks. This allows the user to add a to-do list to remind them of the things they need to do. Contact list. This is your address book. So all email applications have an address book or contacts list. This feature allows you to store the email addresses of the people you want to email. In a context of a business or a school, anyone that is on that domain will have their email address automatically captured for you, and you just have to start typing their name and their email address will pop up in the search box. Archive, this icon, lets you tidy up the inbox by moving messages from your computer to an archive folder without deleting them. Social networking sites. Social networking site is where individuals or organizations can post their likes, dislikes, interests, comments, photographs, and activities for their friends, virtually everyone else to see and read, unless privacy is enforced. It is always best practice to check privacy settings regularly because they can be changed. People, institutions, and companies use social networking to stay in touch and communicate with clients, friends, and family all over the world, advertise and market their products or services, network with people with similar interests, and communicate news about an organization or club. They also like to sell goods on secondhand markets. Examples: Facebook, Bebo, MySpace. Some of these are old and sort of outdated, but they're listed in the textbook, so we are covering some of them. LinkedIn is for people looking for jobs and looking to network with other like-minded work individuals. Flickr is more images. Twitter, we know. Instagram, TikTok. Your textbook mentions Google Plus. Google Plus doesn't exist anymore. You are expected to know how to explain how to create a social media account. So make sure that you're able to explain how you would go to a website, you would use an email address to create an account, you would have to set a password, you would then have to verify. The social media site would send an email to your email address, you'd have to verify that to gain access to an account. You can then start adding whatever information. In terms of managing your social media account, you'd want to talk about settings that can be used to protect your account. You want to make sure that privacy has been enforced. You can limit who can view information, so you can make your account private as opposed to public. You can see who you can decide who can post on your wall or post messages tagging you, who cannot. Blogs and vlogs. Web blogs are just plain blogs. They are websites that are updated often with news and events in chronological or sequential order. A blog will read like a journal with the most recent entry at the top. A video blog, a vlog, is a form of blog where video is the medium. So entries on the vlog normally consist of videos supported by text and images. Blogs are used by people and organizations for different purposes. They might be sharing personal experiences, so they actually just have a diary. Maybe they're a mom and they're just sharing mom tips. Citizen journalism, so an individual decides to run some kind of news site and they link different articles that they think their audience might like. News blog sites. This would be run by an organization that would have multiple authors, and they would type things about news, whether it's celebrity gossip or rugby, whatever the topic of interest in. Corporate information blogs, so your companies can have blogs where they're typing and posting information. Blogs can often be potential sources of fake news. They are often personal and can be biased, so you want to make sure that when using blogs as a source, is it trustworthy? Is that information mentioned in other sites? YouTube is probably your most popular vlog, but we also have Vimeo. In a sense, you've also got your short video things with TikTok and Instagram Reels, that kind of stuff. But those are more social networking, where YouTube is more recognized as a vlog. Blogs are used by many people for different things. Okay, I've mentioned that. RSS feeds. Now, RSS feeds is no longer in your textbook. It's no longer listed as compulsory for the exam, but I'd rather cover it, as I mentioned earlier, just in case it is asked in your final exam and you're able to just have some information about it. There are many websites to join or get information from. It can become difficult to keep track of all the information. It takes time to log into each website separately. RSS, Really Simple Syndication, is a web or news website that feed automatically provides users with updated content or notification of new content. So a simple way is on YouTube, you can subscribe to someone's account and select to get notification when new videos drop. But you can also use RSS on different websites. And when you subscribe, you could get maybe an email once a week, and they'll have the highlights of information that has been posted on that particular site. So they'll alert you when new blog posts on blogs you subscribe to have been posted, new video clips that have been added to YouTube channels that you subscribe to. Whenever your name or company's name pops up in web searches, you'll get notified. Items that you're interested in online auctioning sites, you'll get to know when they've been posted. Podcasts. It's an audio file, so audio, sound, not video, that is made available to download for free or to purchase from the internet. You can listen to it on a portable media player. Apple Podcasts, and Spotify have really gotten into the podcast market, and you can subscribe to someone and you'll be notified whenever there's new content available. Podcasts and vodcasts, video podcasts, can be used to download radio shows so people can listen to them again. For educational purposes, by teachers and lecturers to provide tutorials and lessons for students. For tourists and visitors in places of interest such as museums, they could download an audio tour of a museum and they can walk through the museum with their earphones in their phone and be guided around. They could listen to the reading of a book, so something like Audible that has come onto the market. Audible works with Amazon, and you can have ebooks read to you instead of having to read them yourself, which can be nice if you're driving in a car, or maybe someone that has maybe someone that's blind, and it's difficult to get software to enable you to read because you're not able to do that. Something like Audible, where someone's reading you the book, can be really helpful. Wikis. A wiki is a website that allows for collaborative editing and creating of the contents of web pages. The core idea of a wiki is that anyone can contribute to it, and the final published article does not belong to any one individual. Examples of what wikis can be used for: creating a company's intranet, internal networks, only those inside the company can view, creating community networks, creating referencing websites, creating educational resources. GPS technology. GPS technology is being used more widely as more people are using smartphones, cameras, and other devices that have GPS facilities. There are obviously potential disadvantages to your location being known, but there are also huge upsides to using this type of technology for both users and businesses. Some businesses use GPS technology to allow their users to earn loyalty points. Businesses can provide special deals and discounts for loyal customers, especially frequent visitors. Businesses can get immediate feedback on by getting customers to rate likes, dislikes, check-ins, geotagging. So you can take a photo and the exact location where that photo was taken, latitude and longitude, are stored inside the image, and you're able to extract that. You can check in at places using some social media sites. You can find a lost or stolen cell phone or tablet by using something like Find My Phone. Android and Apple both have this feature enabled. And you can track your fitness activity. So maybe you go for a run or a cycle and you use an app like Strava that's able to record the exact GPS coordinates of your exact run. It can tell you how many minutes per kilometer, how many kilometers in total you've run. Friends can follow you. Their activity can also be shared. Quite useful. Using the web efficiently, a web browser is software application that allows one to navigate, view, and interact with content on the web. Examples include Firefox, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Apple Safari, Opera Mini. Features, we have our homepage settings, bookmarks and favorites, history, pop-up blockers, blocking of websites, caching, and browser plugins. If we look at Pop-up Blocker, Pop-up is a small web browser window that appears on the top of a website you're viewing. They're normally created by advertisers and often open as soon as you visit a website. Pop-up blockers are features that most web browsers have. They can allow you to limit or block most pop-ups. The level of blocking can be decided by the user, and you can decide to block all the pop-up windows or only those that you want to allow. You also get extensions that can block pop-ups from just opening on your device. Blocking of websites. There could be reasons why a person would want to block a website. They can include wanting to avoid phishing websites, prevent targeting by spammers who use adware as well as pop-ups to attack your computer. Parents might want to prevent their children from having access to content like gambling and pornography. So you're able to filter whatever your needs are, and you can set that up. There is, how does a browser on a smart device differ from a browser on a PC? Using websites on a mobile device is a very different experience to desktop browsing. Number one, a mobile website ends with .mobi. When web pages or when people create websites, they often are not thinking about the fact that most people are going to view them on their phone. You need to make sure that the web page can allow smaller screens. It's going to be working with slower processors, so the CPU on a phone is much smaller and less capable than a gaming CPU on a desktop. Often you wanting to use less bandwidth because you're on your phone and maybe using mobile data. You don't want a website that's got so much content it's going to take a long time to load. Your user is going to be having to use touch input. So you need to make sure that your site can work with that. Keyboards are often fiddly. You can't move them exactly where you want to move them on the screen. They could be covering important bits. So it could be a problem. You've got limited multitasking compared to if you're on a PC. Portrait screens on a mobile device, sometimes you're not able to have the phone tilt to landscape mode. And there's no poor Flash support. So Flash allows video and different multimedia functions on a website. And if you're on a phone, you're probably not going to have that available. So the website might not work at all. Okay, caching. Web browsers temporarily store web documents like HTML pages and images on disk. This is what we call caching. The reasons for caching are to reduce bandwidth usage and to allow previously visited web pages to load quicker. So they will load quicker as they are loaded from your hard drive and not the web. So it's saved on your device. And so every time you go onto that site again, it loads a lot quicker. The problem is a website might have made changes, and if you are logging on your phone to the website again and there's been changes, if you are loading it from the cache, you're not actually getting the most up-to-date changes. So every now and again, if you clear your cache, it frees up disk space on your device, which is good, and it forces the browser to display the latest version of the web page that you're visiting. So it's like a twofold reason: you need to clear a space on your device, as well as you're wanting the latest version of the website that you're visiting. Browser plugins. This is also an area where they mentioned in the government meeting at the beginning of the year that you're not going to be asking on, but once again, I'd rather cover it just in case. Plugins and add-ons are small applications that act as add-ons to a web browser so that it can display additional specialized content. Plugins are needed when you want to open pages with content like videos, sound, even documents that you open directly in the browser. So some examples: Adobe Reader plugin. This will allow you to view PDF files when you're in the browser without the need of a PDF reader like Adobe Reader. Adobe Flash and some of these other ones will allow multimedia plugins, so you can listen to music, view animations, videos, and other multimedia effects when you're in the web browser. Google Earth plugin, so people can create on their website, they're able to have a version of Google Earth program, and you may be able to have a little map displayed in the website. Java, so this small program will allow calculators, chat interfaces, and small online games to run while you're in the browser. New trends and technologies. Mobile connectivity, so smartphones, tablets, phablets. People have access to the internet on devices that are small, they have a long battery life, and they're instantly on. People carry these devices with them wherever they go. So connectivity is no longer limited to a specific place or time. People with smartphones have apps that they can use to access data and resources on the internet rather than using more conventional tools. Always on connectivity. Nowadays, access to the internet is expected to be always on and always available. Increased bandwidth at a lower cost. People can connect at faster speeds and at lower cost than before due to widespread installation of fiber connections. This trend is for speed to increase and the cost to decrease, even in South Africa. While the internet is more expensive when we compare ourselves to other countries, it is getting cheaper and cheaper over time. The digitization of media, so books, magazines, music, movies, TV series, are all sold in digital downloadable formats. The old physical product distribution method is being replaced with digital content. And in fact, you don't have to download, you can just stream if you have adequate internet access. We've seen that with the rise of companies like Netflix, Showmax, Amazon Prime. Distributed processing and storage. Storage and processing power. Access to the internet may be spread across multiple servers in different data centers around the world. Cloud storage has become the norm, with people using services like Google Drive, Apple iCloud, OneDrive with Microsoft to store documents, photos, movies. And these trends should not be viewed in isolation. They combine to create a landscape where people can always access data and powerful computing resources no matter where they are. Technologies are constantly being developed and refined to make connectivity faster and cheaper, while creating devices that use this connectivity in new and ingenious ways. Okay.